when he went, he was providing food. He was providing not just the word, but food too, and miracles and doing things, because you got to meet people at their tangible needs, or they're not following anybody. They're not following anything. And so what happens is, the reason we need our needs met is because when people go into survival mode is a very selfish state. It's all about, how do I make sure I get another day? And so what does that mean? That means that if I have to take your life to do it, I will. So when we go into survival mode because our needs aren't met, that's a very selfish and also dangerous place for people to be. So we have to meet people's needs. And Jesus is the model. He is the role model for meeting people's needs first.
Miss Black Hollywood, how do you feel about that? What's your take on it?
I just think it's really interesting. I think Black people have been taught a lot about, we've always survived, right? We've had to survive. Survival has been the name of our game. And I hate to keep going back to slavery, but slave masters, you literally used to tell the pastors to preach, it'll be greater later. It'll be greater later. It'll be greater later. Just, you might struggle on earth, but when you go to that place in the sky, everything is going to be better. And I think it's really trained us to endure. And, we don't even really look for abundance, or we're just always operating in that space where it'll be greater later, instead of being able to see heaven on earth. So, I mean, I just really had to change my mindset about that, because I think heaven and hell can also exist here. And I think it does. I think there's a bit of it that it does. We create our own heavens and hells right here on earth. And it really, really starts with your mindset. So, I mean, I sometimes, again, listen, I have a personal relationship with God. Y'all know I sing at the choir. Like, I go to church every Sunday. I don't miss it. But I also would be remiss if I just didn't ask questions. I think that's another thing that we're taught in church, that you can't ask questions. You can't be like, well, why is that? Who taught us that? And why was it taught to us in that way? So I'm just that kind of Christian. But, I do believe that, God is my source and all the things. But I definitely also ask questions.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, like, I know you mentioned that you spent a couple of years in college where you were exploring different religions and different walks. Like, I've been, I was Muslim for a decade. I have been Christian. I left Christianity and I came back to Christianity. I've embraced the Yoruba spiritual path. And one thing is interesting after exploring all these different faith walks, like in the Yoruba religion, when we pray, we have directly things where we ask for money, not like, oh, hey, I might this and this. No, it's point blank. Bless me with wealth, bless me with riches. And even as a practitioner of hoodoo, in that hoodoo tradition, there are a lot of things that you do to bring money into your house and keep, one thing is keeping your house clean. In hoodoo, we like you keep it. And that's the thing. What about the first of the year, Black people? You've had the pinto beans and your greens, and you eat that for your New Year's dinner so you can have prosperity throughout the year. And
no, ma'am, it's black eyed peas. Get it right now.
Oh, excuse me. Yes,
get it right.
See, look, because that's how widespread and ingrained it is in our culture.
Who eats pinto beans?
You have that black eyed peas.